Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Erin and I do mostly budgeting videos like the one you're about to see here. For tuning in and spending your time with me. I am going to be going over my side income and my husband's unemployment budget with you, and I'm really happy to be able to do that because we have some extra money that we're able to finally put into sinking funds. So it's been it's not been a long time since I was able to put anything toward those, but it feels like it because in August and it will be a repeat this month in September, I'm not able to put in as much as I was in July. So I am going to open up my budget planner and turn to the current week so we can get started and filling in all these blanks. So I've already written out the headers to the categories that I typically budget, and I am ready to fill in the specific numbers and get down to the nitty-gritty. I think some of you are aware, if you've been watching my channel, that my husband is going to be going back to school, but recently he may have a job opportunity for October, so I'm not really sure. It's just so much at once, you know, nothing happens and then everything happens, and I'm not sure what the best route for us to take is. It's a contract position that could turn into permanent, so there's a difference between getting hired on soft money versus permanent money. Soft money is when a company is offering you a position based on a contract and a set amount of money that they have to spend on you to do a certain function, certain job. When you're hired at a company permanently, obviously that just means that they are offering you a job for an indefinite amount of time based on every circumstance. You know, I am at a permanent job, as most of you probably are, but when you're on a contract, it's a little bit iffy because a lot of times they'll promise you that this can turn into permanent, but there is a bit of a risk that it may not end up being permanent. So we're just kind of weighing our options and thinking about that and trying to do the best thing for long term. So I am going to count the money first, because I like to go off on tangents and give you guys all kinds of details, whether you enjoy them or not, I guess. And I also wanted to say my budgets are pretty much, you know, the same every single week. There are little differences with, you know, what we have coming up, what we're spending and things like that. But I just didn't know if you guys were still super interested in this type of setup because it is very redundant. And sometimes I even hesitate to do this video at times because I'm just a little bit afraid that it's old and stale, but you'll have to let me know, and you know, just what your thoughts are if you think that, you know, this is still something worth watching or worth filming. But let's go ahead and count some money first. So I should have $830 here that is ready to go. So 51, 50, 53, 350, 370, 390, 410, 430, 450, 470, 490, 510, 530, 550, 570, 590, 610, 630, 650, 670, 690, 710, 730, 750, 770, 790, 800, 810, 815, 820, 825, and 830. So I feel like I'm getting better at counting from 50 to 20. You know how, you know, when it doesn't work out perfectly, like here, you know, this would be great if this ended on $100 mark, but then I'm like 50, 70, 90, and I used to really struggle with that. I feel like I'm getting better at that. All right, so we have $830 to work with. So a couple of things, I'm going to write down my totals so you can see how I spent some of the money already. So for unemployment, I am going to write $450 here, and that is intact. Then for Grubhub for last week, this is probably one of my better weeks since I stopped doing it. So I was just really doing it a lot. And spending so much of my time, just almost every free minute, I felt like I was doing Grubhub. And that slowed down when I got sick. I got pneumonia, and then I started to pick up, and here we are. So $463.21 for last week. I feel like that was a really reasonable and good payoff for the time I invested in that. So I want to, how can I do this? Let's do this over here in the little Sunday category because I don't have this block filled up. So if I add those two amounts, so 450 plus 463.21 brought us to 913.21. So total side income and unemployment equals 913.21. All right, so right off the bat, I am subtracting 73.85. So minus 73.85, which brings us down to 839.36. And you might be wondering, what was the $73 for? Well, my niece was here. She spent the summer with us, the majority of the summer, and she finally got a job, and she was able to secure her job, get an apartment. She chose an apartment online. It actually turned out to be a wonderful place. So she's really happy with that. And the night before she left this week for good, she was back and forth a couple of times just so she could get some things settled and finalized at her old home, which is where her mom is. But anyways, so the last night that she was here, we went to dinner, and it was she and my mom and my husband and myself. So it was $73.85 with the tip. So that took up a little bit of money, which brings us down to $839.36. And then what I did was I left $9.36 in my checking. And the reason why I did that is just because I wanted this to be a nice round figure that I was working with for this video. All right, so as you can see, that brings us down to $830. So minus 939. Oops, why did I do that? It's 936. Plus, all right, let's just go 830. All right, 830. And that is how much we counted the money. All right, so let's go down to cash envelopes. We have a couple, not wild cards, but just a couple, not just unusual expenses, I guess. So my cash envelopes are always the same. So we account for groceries for the next week. And there are 3 people in our house. And I don't know if you guys had seen my video where I said my nephew got laid off. So that is unfortunate. Gas. So we're not sure when he's going to be going back to work or what the situation is, but I will keep you guys posted. It's just been kind of crazy, you know, with so many jobs being affected still. You know, things are getting back to normal, I guess, as much as possible because of COVID, but there are still so many things that are still being affected. So where he works, they create parts, I would say, for lack of a better term, because I'm not that versed in what he does, but they create parts or supplies for other companies across the nation. And a lot of those companies ended up either going out of business or halted their own sales and all that. So it affected the production that they were doing here. So some people, I guess, were just collateral damage in that, and he was one of the people who got laid off. So for gas this week, I'm going to put in 65. That's less than last week, but I do need the extra because I'm delivering and it takes a lot of extra gas. So where I deliver, it's not real heavy freeways or things, you know, streets like that. It's more you know, kind of corner delivery, I would say. So even though things are like not always close by, like sometimes I deliver places where it's 10 miles away, but it's a lot of starting and stopping, and I just think that takes up more gas for some reason than when you're driving on the highway. So, okay, we have our groceries, the dogs, gas, and then there were some miscellaneous items. So I need to put taxes up here. That's one of my sinking funds. And I'm going to add $60 for that. I know that's not 20%, but that is what I am adding. And then miscellaneous, let's talk about that for a second. So we have reinstated our home warranty. And if you've never had a home warranty and you're a homeowner, I highly suggest looking into it because it really saves a lot of money. So our home warranty will cover things like our air conditioner. It will even cover our washer and dryer if it breaks, a stove, a refrigerator. There's a lot of home warranties out there that won't cover appliances, but the one we have will. It's $50 a month if you should have something go wrong. For us, it's a $75 deductible. So for your service call, it's $75, whether it costs $10 to fix the problem or it costs $10,000 to fix the problem. It's $75 out of your pocket. So it's really, really nice. We've had one several different times over the years, but I kind of let it lapse, and I thought, you know what, with everything going on, and I hate to keep saying that because that phrase sounds so cliche anymore, but with our luck, you know, I don't want something to happen to like our furnace or, you know, whatever, we're going into the winter months, hot water tank, because you just never know. So I reinstated this, so that's going to be $50. A birthday gift I need some money for, and I'm going to put $50 aside for that. And let's see. Oh, Discover. I did some spending on Discover. I was just doing some shopping, regular shopping, and then I bought a couple of things for my niece for her new apartment, just little tiny things. And then, is that it? I think that might be it. So let's see where we're at. So $830 minus $60 for taxes. All right. Minus $125 for our groceries. Minus $25 for the dogs. Minus $65 for gas. Minus $50 for the home warranty. Minus $50 for the birthday gift, minus $120 for Discover card, brings us down to $335. So for that $335, I am going to put that into sinking funds. And I'm not going to do that in this video because I want to do an updated video of, no, you know what, I am going to do that. All right, so let's do our sinking funds really quickly. So we have emergency, taxes. These are just my regular ones. I only have 4. I used to have a lot of different sinking funds, but it just got to be so complicated, and I don't know. For me, it just wasn't necessary to have so many different ones. So this is my Christmas club, savings, emergency, taxes. No, you know what? I don't usually put taxes here. I'm missing something, and it's going to be the dogs. So I don't really count my taxes, I guess, as an emergency fund. I don't know why I listed it there. So with taxes, I have 5 categories, but honestly, my emergency funds or sinking funds are, I keep saying emergency funds, my sinking funds consist of these 4 categories. All right, so for Christmas, I'm not going to put anything, and I'll do an updated video. Dogs, I'm not going to put anything. I did some moving around. And what's nice about Capital One checking and subsequently all their savings accounts, because you can open, I think, up to 20 savings accounts under one checking account. So what's nice about that is you can kind of move money around as you see fit. So I didn't really think that I needed so much in the dog category because we hadn't been using it. So I kind of did some transferring, and I will show you guys that in an updated video. But what I'm going to do for emergency is I'm going to take $275 out of there. So I'm going to add $275 And you guys are used to seeing my totals, but again, I'm going to do that in a separate video. And that leaves $60. And I'm going to put that into my savings fund. And that brings us down to a zero-based budget for inconsistent income. And that's the way I like it. And I call it inconsistent income because when I am talking about these categories here, whether it be unemployment or side income, you know, side income could include YouTube if, you know, that's figured in for the month. If I reach my $100 threshold, it could include Grubhub, or it could include anything that I'm doing. If I reinstate Etsy. So those are considered inconsistent incomes because they're not the same all the time. Now, what I consider a consistent income would be my payday, which I will get into that in a separate video. So that is what this week looks like for my side income and the unemployment and how I'm spending it all. So down here, I have a section for my October bills. And you guys know I pay my bills a month in advance. And I do get questions about this all the time. People want to know how I was able to get a month ahead. And it was because of our stimulus money. So when everybody or most people received the $1,200 stimulus money in the springtime, I took mine and my husband's and I paid off our bills for the next month, just household bills. And that was able to kind of catapult us into this pay 1 month ahead situation. So the money that I make in September, I'm actually earning for October as far as our fixed expenses, bills, household. And the money that I'm making in September also goes towards my variable expenses, which I consider to be my cash envelopes. That's weekly expenses. So that's the best way I can explain it. So this wasn't very fun to look at. This layout is kind of looking sad lately, but yeah, it's not very cute. I think what I will do is I will stuff my envelopes and at least get those ready for my spending for when I go to the grocery store, and then we will end the video like that. So for groceries, I'm going to take 51, 120, and 125, and I'll be putting that into the grocery envelope. And you may be wondering what I'm going to be doing with, like, how am I going to get this back into the bank? I'm actually going to deposit this into my bank, and then I will do a Zelle transfer into Capital One. So dog food, I've got $25. Yep. Empty from this week, which was stocked last week. So $25. And if you guys are wondering, like, what do I do with any extra money? Let's say I only spend $120 at the grocery store, or, you know, whatever the case may be. It literally goes in my pocket. And I don't try to, how can I say, I don't try to discipline myself with that money at all. I just kind of use it for spending money. And I know that that's not always, I don't know, maybe not the smartest thing to do. I have $65 here for gas, but I need some kind of pocket money, and I don't always just put aside a set amount for miscellaneous. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. And then these bills I'm not going to stuff. So miscellaneous, I'm just going to put this back in the bank so I can take care of these things, except for the birthday gift. I need to go take that money and go buy a gift card. But yeah, that's it. So that is it for the week, and stay tuned. I will be talking to you guys about our household bills and how I use my paycheck to go toward October's bills. And I will also be doing an updated sinking funds video where I talk to you guys about where we're at with our goals and where we're at on the chart for our savings. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys are all doing well, and of course I hope I see you guys in my next video. Take care.